You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 381 for Sunday, the 17th of October, 2021.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to the Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jayne Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello there, Jayne.
Hello there, Michelle, and how are we doing?
I'm dreaming of Disney.
Aren't we always? The only way to be.
Yeah. And in this week's little mailbox, I bought myself a little bit of Disney.
Ooh, what have you bought, Michelle?
Well, Double Box Toys is a UK company that are importing by the bucket load of Disney stuff. And basically they've opened a shop over here now, but you can order it all online. And they started with Spirit jerseys and Funkos, and they're basically owned by Funko anyway. And they advertised the little Christmas ornaments of the Starbucks cups that they do every year. And there's a Walt Disney World one, and then the 4 parks.
Just too tempting for you, Michelle, isn't it, really?
It was, but I'm kind of regretting I only got the 4 parks, and I'm kind of regretting I didn't get the Walt Disney World one because it was my favourite colour, red. So I'm a little bit gutted on that, but hey-ho.
Well, that's just an excuse to do more shopping, though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I did work the weekend, last weekend, to earn the pennies because I was away with the cadets.
You did,
and
yes.
When we work for a weekend like that, we do get paid. And it was a fun weekend. Lots and lots of hard work, though.
Yeah, but worth it.
Yeah. How are you, lovely? Any Disney surprises in the post or anything you've got your eye on?
Well, I have no Disney surprise in the post that I can think of. I don't think I've had anything Disney. No, I haven't had anything Disney. Although, I'm a little bit late coming to the recording today, aren't I, Michelle? I've been a little bit naughty because I've been out and about helping my Molly. She passed her driving test on Monday, just gone. Yay! First time. Well done, Moles. So, we have been looking at a car today for Molly. So, budget is a little bit tight, because insurance in this country is way too expensive. But we have found her a little car, and all I will say at the moment is that she likes Monsters Inc. She loves Monsters Inc. She loves Sully. So think of the colour that Sully is predominantly.
Oh.
And this is as close to Disney as I'm going to get this week, because the car that Molly has found is very much a Sully coloured car, is all I will say.
It's very nice. I've had pictures. I'm very happy for her. Chugging away. And I'm looking forward to you incorporating her room into the Disney office for yourself.
Well, yes. I mean, she will be leaving my abode and we will be gaining a room. But I think the room will be turning into a bit of an arts and crafts sort of environment. I think Simon may have his dibs on it. But the really good thing, actually, is because of that, it means that there's more space created in my hallway, which you know, Michelle, is quite a large hallway as such. And at the moment, a lot of my Disney bits and bobs are hidden in bookshelves and behind glass doors and one thing and another, but they're not very well displayed. So I'm going to get some new display cabinets. Hey, me! So all of my Disney stuff can be much better presented and behind nice cabinets that are going to be lit and everything can be seen and it's going to be all beautiful.
Oh, I'm just hoping that there's still going to be a bed in Molly's room, or what was Molly's room, the craft room, so that I have somewhere to stay when I come and visit.
Don't worry, we're going to convert it in. We're going to get a sofa bed purely for that purpose, just for you. I was thinking of you, obviously, Michelle.
Oh, bless you. Oh.
Well, we've got burlesque nights to plan and all sorts, haven't we? So we need to get, make sure we can accommodate.
Absolutely. But, Jayne, we're not here to talk about redecorations and busily spending our money on websites. We're here to talk Disney, and we have 3 pieces of On This Day in Disney history for you.
Crack on.
Have you ever heard of the RCA Corporation?
Not necessarily.
Really? Oh, well, it was founded as the Radio Corporation of America on this day in 1919.
Okay, and what's the connection to Disney then?
Well, lovely. They were an innovative and progressive company and the dominant electronics and communications firm in the USA for over 50 years. I think that connects. Today it only exists as a brand name and the trademarks are owned by Sony Music Entertainment and Technicolor, hence linkage.
Ah, okay.
Now the next one is something that both me and thee are struggling with at the moment.
Oh, what's that then?
Our voices.
Oh, yes.
I feel absolutely lousy and I know you were croaking like a frog to me last night.
Yes, it's there. It's hanging in. Carry on.
Yay. Well, the official voice, Disney Legends voice of Disneyland and Walt Disney World, Jack Wagner, was born on this day, 1925. Happy birthday!
That's a very well-known name.
Absolutely. Oh, I hope he has a wonderful day.
Mm.
Last but not least, on this day in 1965, the 1964 World's Fair in New York officially ended, and all of those wonderful attractions Walt Disney created got packed off and sent home.
And we still benefit from them today.
Big hat, big hat.
Lots to love about 1964.
Yeah. And it just goes to show, even back then in the day, their celebrations went on longer than a couple of days.
Yeah, I quite like these anniversaries that go on for like about 18, 24 months. I think we should be doing that for ourselves.
Oh, I know. Well, I'm definitely stretching my birthday to next year.
Well, if our birthdays lasted 2 years, then we wouldn't be as old as we are.
I'd be 27 or 25.
Yeah, see?
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that idea, Jayne.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Superb. Anyway, moving on. Let's go to Disneyland.
Yes. Okay, yes, please.
And I'm sure on Friday you saw lots of wonderful, resplendent pictures of the Disneyland monorail because, whoop, whoop, it's back in action.
Yay.
It's not trundled round its little mono track since March 2020 because of the COVID-19 pandemic.
It's nice to see these things back up and running as they should be, though, isn't it?
I know. Debuted in 1959, so, it's nice to know that it's up and running.
Yeah, and it still can be up and running because you do worry when these things go down for these extended periods of time that, if I go down for that extended period of time, some of my things seize up. So, goodness knows what happens to a monorail.
Yeah, and it's a great fun way to enter the park over in Disneyland, hop on the monorail and ka-ching, you end up in Tomorrowland. It is fab.
Yeah, brilliant way to start the day.
Yeah, especially if you've got some nice hot treats from Earl of Sandwich over the road. Gotta be done. So we've done Disneyland in California. Now let's hop to Disneyland Paris.
Oh, okay. What's cracking off over there then?
Well, that's the phrase actually that has happened this week on social media, as a lot of Disneyland Paris fans have been tweeting and Instagramming and Facebook grouping because as of the 3rd of December, Disneyland Paris is going to be introducing a new accessibility programme which, in their words, not mine, will empower guests with disabilities and special needs to be able to experience the parks according to their own autonomy evaluation.
That sounds very good in practice, in theory, sorry. So what does that actually mean?
Well, it's very Disney speak.
Yeah.
Some things that people have been able to enjoy are being taken away or modified. So, for example, if you are classed as a carer for a disabled person, up to the end of, up to the 2nd of December, you got the ability to have a free carer's ticket to gain access to Disneyland because you are there as that person's sole carer to provide them the modification they needed to be able to enjoy the attraction like anybody else.
Yeah.
Now it's changing. So
the
disabled guest will get a 25% discount.
Okay.
When presenting official disability documentation. And one potential accompanying care person will also get that 25%.
Okay.
It's now actually going to cost the disabled person to take their caregiver 150% rather than 100% for just themselves.
Yeah.
So I can see a lot of people being very, very angry about that because, sometimes I know families where you've got multiple children with disabilities, for example, that need a lot of one-to-one care, they take on family friends extra to provide that level of care for them.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. I would imagine that there has been abuse of the system in the past, and perhaps that's what Disney's trying to crack down on. Just putting an alternate argument out there. I don't know.
Yeah, there's lots of bits and pieces on this new policy, and I'm not going to go into them. I know it's a very hot ticket, and I know a lot of people feel very, very passionate about them. But one thing that they've stipulated is that if you need to have some kind of accommodation, you will need an access card, and it is for anyone who is officially registered as disabled.
Right, so I'm guessing there's going to be some conditions out there that don't qualify as a disability.
That's right. You've got to prove with things such as a disability living allowance or attendance allowance, which is the official letter, or proof that you're in receipt of personal independence payment, a current and valid blue badge, which is the proof that you have for your vehicle that you can have accommodations for parking, or a letter from your GP or consultant signed and stamped within the last 12 months confirming the need for a full-time carer or certifying that the person has a permanent disability. Now, they are still going to put into place an easy access card, and this is for guests that have a temporary illness or for those that are expectant mothers. And as far as I'm aware, none of the other theme parks do it for expectant mothers.
No, I'm not aware of anything to do with ladies being pregnant. So that's an interesting one as well, because obviously it's quite a long period of time that a lady is pregnant, and interesting.
Obviously, if you've got this card and you're pregnant, there's a lot of attractions you can't hit.
Yeah.
They're not going to be letting you go on, things like Tower of Terror. No. So, but it's very, very clear on the guidance that you have to have the documentation. No documentation, no access card. And that documentation has got to be dated within the last 12 months.
So, like we always say, Michelle, with any trip to any Disney park in any part of the world, do your research before you go and make sure you've got everything that you need to do what you want to be able to do.
And we'd love to hear from people that this impacts on, and would love to hear from their viewpoints, because as Jayne and myself don't have that need, it's very easy for us to sort of make the comments that we are making without having, that need in our personal lives. Absolutely. When we're going. Guys, what do you think? Do you think it's appropriate what they're doing for Disneyland Paris? And I gather over in Walt Disney World and Disneyland, there's changes there as well about how you can book your disability access, that it can be done online now prior to arrival at the park. Yeah,
I think there's like face-to-face video calls as well, I think, for Disney World, which is quite a nice touch, actually. But yeah, it's very difficult for us to say because we don't have that experience. So if this does affect you, then please let us know how you think it's going to affect you. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing?
My mantra basically is you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. Ring up Disney, be super nice, explain everything.
Yeah.
They will go the extra mile. But if you ring up and be Mr. Shouty or Mrs. Shouty, you get people's backs up.
I think that's a lesson for life in general, Michelle, not just for Disney, but definitely. Softly, softly often wins the day.
Absolutely. Now, there's some good news from over at Epcot. The Candlelight Processional will be processing this year.
Yay! That's good to know.
It's really, really exciting. It started all the way back in 1958 over in Disneyland. And this year they have announced some of the celebrity narrators. And we're going to play that good old game of Who Are They?
Oh, no, go on. Because I haven't seen this list, Michelle, so go on.
Well, some of them I know you'll know because you do all the sort of like High School Musical malarkey, and I've no idea. So it kicks off 29th of November to the 1st of December with Cheetah Rivera, Deathly Silence.
I'm grasping at straws, no idea.
Jodie Benson.
Oh, it sounds familiar, but I don't know why.
She sings a lot on Disney films.
That's probably why I know the name then.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's move on from this point very
Quickly.
Alton Fitzgerald White.
Nope.
No, no idea. Lisa Ling.
No.
Stephen Curtis Chapman.
No.
Blair Underwood.
Yes, I do know Blair Underwood. He was in LA Law, wasn't he?
Was he? I don't think that's how he's connected to Disney, though, is it?
Oh, no, but that's what I know him from.
Oh,
that's
right.
a lot of years ago, though.
Yeah.
I'm showing my age with that one.
Well, he's got Boxing Day.
Oh, okay. Good old Blair on Boxing Day.
Yeah. Pat Sajak, December 29th to the 30th.
I'm not sure I know that name either.
No, me neither. Not a clue.
Are there some dates missing in all of that, Michelle?
There's a gap between December the 14th to the 22nd where they might be waiting to hear back from Whoopi Goldberg and Neil Patrick Harris.
I was going to say, because those two names are the staples of the processional, aren't they, really?
And Gary Sinise.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so they could be slotted in at any moment.
Well, it would be nice to think that they would be making an appearance. I did notice, because I do follow Mr. Neil Patrick Harris on Instagram, I did notice that he was there with his family not so many days ago.
Oh, I wish he'd adopt me.
I know.
But we can
I'd adopt him, actually.
Oh, true. We can soon sing his song, Are You Ready for Christmas? But we've got to get through Halloween yet.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah. Although on my drive home from work tonight, I did notice some houses decorated for Christmas already.
Oh, crikey. Well, I did say last year that if this worldwide situation was going on as it was doing, that I was going to decorate from September last year. Now I didn't, and I haven't this year, but it's getting awfully close to when I need to.
Yeah. So anyway, that's our little stroll around some things and pieces that we sort of saw in the news this week. And basically, I know Jayne and I have got one thing on our mind right now, at this moment, is getting back to Walt Disney World.
It is. I mean, it's been a little bit longer for me than it has been for you, Michelle, but I'm just very aware that there is so much now at Disney World that I haven't seen that has changed since the last time I was there, because it was 2013 the last time I was able to get to Disney World. And I'm just desperate for things to get back to normal. So I think now for me personally, being able to go, and I can go pretty much when I like, really. I'm in a fortunate position that I could go as and when, work allowing, obviously. I just want everything to be normal. I want to be able to go and enjoy it properly. Because it's not going to be cheap, is it, Michelle?
Well, that's an interesting point that you've raised.
I thought it might be.
I did a bit of Googlage, right, to try and work out about how much it's going to set us back. And I got a bit of a pleasant surprise, actually, Jayne.
Really?
Yeah. Well, the accommodation, I was looking at All Star because I know it's going to be the cheapest.
Yeah, okay.
And for 10 nights, it was working out at roughly $144 a night.
Okay.
Now, that's gone up a little bit from my last trip. I think it was sort of pitching around $91 to $105 a night.
Right.
But they have a very nice offer on for us British people at the moment.
Do they?
They do indeed.
Enlighten me.
If I were to click that button and say, book now,
Mm.
I would get a $396 dining credit plus a $100 gift card.
Okay.
Now, there is a catch. I have to buy my park ticket at the same time.
Yes, okay, yeah. When you book, yeah.
There is an offer on for that where if you book a 7-day ticket, it's actually a 14-day
14,
ticket.
yeah, we get that all the time over here, don't we? Yeah.
And just to confuse everybody, that price on the website is actually in English pounds.
Well, that's because we pay in English pounds.
Yeah, so we'd pay, it works out at £2,000, which I believe at the moment is $2,600 for the accommodation and your park ticket. Then you get the $100 gift card and the $396 dining credit.
Which is not to be sneezed at.
And it's a dining credit, not dining points or meals or anything.
So you can spend that 300 and whatever it was as you see fit in dining establishments rather than having to use like a point-based system.
Yeah. And
Okay.
it's very similar. If you remember last time I went, I had unlimited breakfasts that one per each
Yes.
day, but I actually
Yeah,
found out you could use it at lunch and get an alcoholic
that's
beverage with
right.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I absolutely got the best value out of that. What should have been a $7 breakfast, I stretched it to about $23 some days.
I'd expect nothing less from you, Michelle.
Absolutely. So basically, this card is accepted in 250 plus dining locations across the Disney parks. Thing that you can add to your mobile order. So if you want to mobile order at a quick service, you can
Right.
do. If you want to use it in a nice restaurante, you can do. If you want table service, it'll probably go very much quicker.
Quickly.
You
Yeah.
can use it in some places for snacks as well. Joffrey's Tea and Coffee Company, Katsura Grill, Yak and Yeti, just some of the places. Amorette's, you can go there. You can go to Morimoto Asia. So it's available in so many places, and all you basically do is use it to pay, and that's it. And when the $368 is gone,
Gone. It's
it's
gone.
gone.
Well, and just from our point of view, I mean, you know how we've always eaten when we've gone out there, we've used the dining plan, and we've normally been staying in a moderate or a budget hotel. And the moderate hotels, you would historically used to get the quick service. And then normally, if you stayed in a budget like the All Stars, you wouldn't actually qualify for any dining plan. So that's a good thing if you're able to stay in All Stars and get 300 and whatever it is dollars to spend on money on food. And then also the element of like we've never been particularly interested in table dining per se, or at least not every single day of our stay. So I've always tried to stay away from the old dining plans where you were going to get a quick service and a table service because we didn't really want the table service. So for us personally, to get a lump sum of money effectively to spend as we see fit, I quite like the sound of that.
Now, it's got to be used on food. You can't go and
Fair
buy
enough.
merch or
Yeah.
services or theme park tickets or anything. It's got to be used for your munchies.
Hmm.
There's no equivalent cash value. You use it or you lose it.
Is it? Yeah, fair enough.
But I'm quite happy with that. You could have a couple of slap-up dinners at the California Grill, or you could basically eat at somewhere a little bit more sensibly priced, such as Kona Cafe or the Polite Pig down at Disney Springs, every day of your holiday.
Well, yeah, and I always think the nice thing particularly from the Brits' point of view, we're spending an awful lot of money to get over to Disney World. So if this is something that comes off those credit card bills that you end up coming home to, because we all know that feeling. We've gone out there, we're having a whale of a time. The credit card is on your Magic Band or your Disney whatever, or you're whacking it over the counter left, right, and centre. And then about a week after you get home, your credit card bill lands on your doorstep and you go, oh, is that how much I spent on food? Is that how much I spent on merch? So I quite like the idea of having something that will just take the sting out of that expense that you come home to.
Yeah, yeah. So that's quite a big handy hint for you, Jane, when you're looking at your booking. Bear in mind, if you go up to a moderate range, the value increases. And if you go up to a deluxe range, the value increases. It doesn't actually say anything that I found that if you get one of the Phipps family surprise upgrades, whether the value gets upgraded as well. But
With you. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. But yeah, it's quite nice. Nice that they're tiering it, per the amount you're going to you're going to pay for your stay. And also quite nice to see that they're giving it to the bottom end of the hotels as well, because historically they've always missed or tended to have missed out as far as dining plans have gone in the past. So
yeah.
that's a plus.
Yeah. The downside is flights at the moment have a spectrum of prices. The cheapest I've found was just under £1,000, and the most expensive
Wow.
£2,500. So that's going up
Ouch.
towards, well over $3,000. It's very expensive.
Yeah, so this is what we say, isn't it, when we talk about coming over to America to go to the Disney parks. From a Brit's point of view, it's always going to be an expensive holiday, which is why we tend to come over, because I know it's maybe sometimes a little bit strange for our US friends to hear that we're coming over for 2 or 3 weeks, as I've done in the past. But when you're spending that amount of money, you want to make sure that you get your bang for your buck and get as much out of it as possible, which is also why we can't always afford to be travelling out there back, years back to back, isn't it?
Well, I shall see what I can make happen with the magic over the weekend when I'm looking at prices, hotels, etc.
And then what? I was just going to say, Michelle. And then what Jayne will do is Jayne will let Michelle do all the research work because then Michelle will feed it back to Jayne so Jayne doesn't have to spend the time. Sorry, did I say that out loud? I shouldn't have said that, should I?
No, I know your evil plot now. But then I was thinking, well, is it beneficial for me to be on site? Because we've talked before about how many layers of the park perks that they're taking away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Magical Express goes in January.
Yeah.
So after that, I have to pay for Mia's.
Yes, which is a bit of a sting in the tail, isn't it? Because we all know that Magical Express was operated by Mia's. So they were doing it, air quotes, free of charge. And now they get to charge us for it.
Yeah, which is a bit near. Transportation to the parks is still free, though.
Thank goodness.
So that's something. You can park at the theme parks for free.
Okay, but not at the hotels, I don't think.
Not at the hotels, and you need a second mortgage. You have the ability to buy discounted magic bands. Whoop, whoop.
Woo. Do we need a magic band anymore, though?
Oh, do you know what? Let's not go into the tech malarkey this week, because it's enough to make my head go kapow.
I haven't even been thinking about it because I know I've not been able to go, so I've kind of switched my brain off from it.
Yeah, easily done. What else? Oh, obviously you've got the Disney theming and the fact that you're immersed in a Disney bubble.
Yes, true.
Yeah. They're offering early theme park entry, 30 minutes earlier if you are a Disney theme hotel guest. And then the big perk is if you are wanting to pay for Lightning Lane, which is the service that you can pay to basically get in quicker. If you are a hotel guest, you can start making your first reservation from 7 a.m. rather than park opening.
Yes.
So there'll be more availability, one would like to think.
You would think, yes.
Now, obviously, if you go up a tier and go to the more deluxe ranges of hotels, there's the possibility of evening extra park times.
Let's say this is only on the top tier hotels at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, which I'm kind of a bit swizzed by, because it would have been nice that if you're paying out that bang of bucks, it would be nice that you can stay the extra half an hour without paying for an after-hours party. Yeah. Particularly with the prices of some of the after-hours parties, because they are quite pricey.
They are, yeah, definitely.
But, so all that lot is making me sort of think, what to do. I think the fact that I would need a car to go from my off-site hotel to the park, adding about $25 a day for parking, that's going to make it so much cheaper to go to a Disney All-Star.
Yeah, I'm going to say, again, this is probably unique to us travelling from abroad, isn't it? Because obviously we're going to have to factor in the car hire prices should we decide to hire a car, then your hotel parking prices. Whereas if we're just paying for the Mia's transport shuttle to get us to the hotel, then we've got all that transport laid on for us, haven't we? So it's a tricky one. It depends what you want your vacation to be, whether you're going to be heading over to just Disney or whether you want to take in the sights and sounds that the surrounding area has to offer or not, and how much freedom you want, whether you want to be reliant on, Ubers or taxis or whatever, or whether you want that freedom to have a car and get out and about. Free car hire seems to be the thing that's thrown in with our package deals, but as we all know, we've still got insurances to pay on top of that anyway, plus then car parking fees at places. So, like we said before, a lot of research to do to weigh up the pros and cons.
But the plus point is fuel is so much cheaper and you don't have to queue for 20 minutes to get it.
Very, very true.
Anyway, that's a little bit from us this week. I hope you've enjoyed our little bit of a ramble, our little bit of a walk through some history and some things that we're thinking about for our planning of our trips ahead. Our Disney Dream Girls podcast family over on Facebook are starting a sensational Christmas gift exchange, and if you want to be party to it, there's a post on there. Join in the fun. I'll be setting it up in the next couple of days, so don't delay. Join today. I like that, don't you know? You know that? It's like
You're a poet and you didn't know it, Michelle.
I know. Roses are red, violets are blue, strawberries are sweet, and so are you.
Oh, thanks.
I know.
Mwah.
You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at DisDreamGirls. We also have our very own Patreon page where you can get all sorts of extra audio content from us. And that's at patreon.com/DisneyDreamGirls. Just chuck a few dollars our way each month. In return, you get the good stuff, and you get all the good stuff going back since this Patreon account actually started. So it's pretty good value. And, of course, you get our muchas thanks for helping us keep the show up and running. Web hosting, artwork, all of those really expensive things that we have to pay for. Anyway, lovelies, it's been fun to be back this week. Apologies there was no show last week, but I literally didn't have a weekend last weekend. Hoping we're going to keep up the momentum, keep going once a week again. We'll just see where that takes us. But until next time, it's a goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.